One of the biggest mistakes people make when tracking their food is they don't weigh and measure their condiments and spreads. But lucky for you, I've measured out 50 calories of some of the most common ones. Here is 40 grams of tomato sauce. Now for some people that might look like quite a lot, but when you've got 20 or 30 chips in front of you, you could dip through that pretty easy and you're going to go back for more. Now here's 45 grams of sriracha. It's only a tiny bit more than the tomato, but there's no chance anyone is getting through that in a sitting. Most people might put like 3 or 4 grams and the flavor spread's pretty good. Now here we've got 70 grams of mustard, which is twice as much as the tomato sauce. Now some people just don't like the flavor of mustard, but if you do, you can enjoy a little bit more for the same amount of calories. Here is 85 grams of soy sauce. It's super salty, so people probably only put a little drizzle across their food. And look at how much you can have. Now I didn't even need a container for olive oil because I knew 6 grams was not going to be much at all. This is about half a teaspoon. And this is the same amount of calories as all of that. Now obviously you can't cook with soy sauce, and obviously there's worse options to cook with. But just make sure you're measuring it out, because I reckon most people would use more than that. Onto the spreads, this is 18 grams of jam. You can pay 3 times as much and get maybe 5% less calories, but jam is just sugar and boiled fruit. Here is 15 grams of honey. Now honey could be a better way to sweeten things, like a cup of tea or swap out sugar for honey in a baking recipe. But at the end of the day, it's pretty much just sugar. And finally, peanut butter. This is 8 grams of peanut butter. And like everything else, this is 50 calories. There is no way anyone is stopping at half a teaspoon of peanut butter. If you do want it, measure it out, account for it, and just enjoy all these things. You can obviously enjoy soy sauce, mustard, and sriracha a little bit more than the rest, but just be diligent and get used to using the kitchen scales. One final thing, this is 0 calories. Salt and pepper is nothing, and it adds heaps of flavor to pretty much any food. You can even add a pinch of salt to sweet recipes, and it will bring out more of the sweetness. And there are some studies that say salt will be bad for you, but if you eat too much salt, you'll just piss it out. The only reason people with a higher salt diet are more unhealthy than people with a lower salt diet is because they add salt to really high calorie foods.